Hi guys, today I'm going to show you a really simple tutorial on how to use stencils with fondant. So I'm going to use different colored fondant for this tutorial, but you can use any of your preference. I would suggest to think about the colors beforehand so that the colors that you will use for making the pattern will actually show on the color that you will choose, so the base color, the fondant color. Then you just want to work the fondant and roll it out. To roll out my fondant evenly, I'm using a rolling pin and I have attached these rings at the end, which will allow me to get the fondant rolled out evenly. Then you want to remove the rings from the ends, take the stencil and roll over the stencil. So I want to kind of push the stencil into the fondant so that it sticks nicely. So once it sticks to the fondant, it's ready, but you want to make sure that all of the sides are nicely attached to the fondant. Then you can start applying the color. The colors that I'm using are dry edible paint, and here I'm using some red, but you can use any colors that you like. To apply the color, you want to use a soft paint brush that is food safe, and you want to just softly brush the color through the stencil. You don't want to press really hard or brush really hard, because otherwise you will have brush strokes on the fondant, which doesn't really look pretty. So just apply very softly. And then I'm going to add a little bit of white in the middle to make the middle of the flower. And here I'm just making sure that there's enough white so that the white parts actually show. Then I also thought I would add a little bit of pearl luster dust on top so that there will be a little bit of shimmer on the flower. So I'm just taking a little bit of the luster dust and then applying it like this. Then you want to carefully remove the stencil and cut out the shape with a round cutter that will fit on a cupcake or a cookie depending on what you're making. Then just carefully remove it and it's ready to use. So if you're going to use this for cookies or cupcakes, I would suggest to use it right away so that the fondant doesn't have time to dry too much. Or if you need it to dry and you want the fondant pieces to be really stable, then you can leave them aside and allow them to dry. So here I'm doing the same. I'm first applying some pink dry paint on the or through the stencil. And then I wanted to highlight some of the parts, so I'm highlighting them with red color. Then I thought it will look really pretty again if I would apply a little bit of the pearl luster dust. So this time I'm applying it with a paintbrush, and I'm applying it so that it will create a kind of an ombre effect. So here, when I was removing the stencil, I noticed that there's some red dry paint on the bottom there, you can see, and that is because I didn't attach the stencil good enough to the fondant, so it was a little bit loose, and that's why the color got there. But there's an easy way to fix this. You want to take a little bit of water and a clean brush and carefully brush that paint away. Then I also wanted to make one with just using the luster dust, and here I'm using some silver luster dust. I think these would be really great for the winter period. You could use white fondant or blue fondant and then apply the silver luster dust, and I think these would be great cupcake toppers or cookie decorations for the winter time. This one is one of my favorite stencils. Now you maybe are not really able to see it, but once we have applied the color, you will be able to see it. It's a poppy flower, and I'm first applying the red on the flower part. And then I'm gonna make the green parts. I think this one, it's really simple, so there's not much in it, but it's very beautiful. I really like the stencil. And then we are going to make just one more. This is the same stencil that I used in the beginning This time I'm just going to use wet fondant and some light blue dry paint. So for this kind of decorations, you can use dry edible paint, you can use luster dust, and you can create beautiful cupcake and cookie decorations. I think there probably is a way to use this technique also for cakes, but I'm not quite sure how that would work. So I'm not gonna say it really works, but maybe it could work. And if you have an idea how that could work, please let me know and maybe I will try it out. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please don't forget that thumbs up for support and subscribe for some more fun tutorials and delicious recipes. Thank you for watching my video. Bye bye until next time.